Hello Enchanted ones, and welcome back to another Yule video. Today, join me as I teach you the traditions of the Yule Log, and join me as I forage, decorate, and then bake my very own. So sit back, relax, and keep on watching. Yule marks the time of the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. The significance of this solstice meant that the wheel of the year was charging once again, as now the sun will climb a little higher and stay a little longer in the sky each day. This was celebrated with bonfires, candles, and the ceremonial Yule Log. Hello Enchanted ones, and welcome to the Enchanted Woods. Today I am finding my Yule Log. I'm so excited because I have never found my Yule Log before, and doing a lot of research into it recently, it seemed like it was a very big deal to the pagans. They had a lot of expectations about this Yule Log because it was to bring protection. They kept it throughout the whole year, and they even lit next year's Yule Log with the previous, like a flint from the Yule Log before. And they had a few rules. You could never buy your Yule Log. You had to forage it, you had to find it. It had to be burnt for 12 days. So a lot of the time, it wasn't just a little log, no, it was a tree. It was like a tree or a massive branch or something that could be continuously brought in and burnt throughout the 12 days of Yule. It had to be from your garden, your neighbour's garden, and I'm just presuming that this is my garden. This wood is basically my garden now, so I'm going to get my Yule Log from here. But I'm not just going to find a random log. I'm going to use my intuition to find a log that the wood brings to me. So what I have with me, I have my little pouch that I made in my last video, and in this pouch are things to help me work with my intuition. So I'm going to be meditating with this, and then I'm literally just going to be following my gut instinct and then hoping that the Yule Log will bring itself to me. Whatever it will be, whatever type of tree it is, we'll see what we can do with it. So let's begin. Okay, so I've just had a vision of water in my mind. So I'm going towards the little river, the silver stream that resides along where I am at the moment, and then hopefully I'll find something. So let's get searching. So I started my journey, but what kind of log was I looking for? Well, ancient cultures believed that different types of wood were associated with various magical properties. This way. Aspen for spiritual understanding, oak was a symbol of strength and wisdom, pine would bring a year of prosperity, and birch would help with fertility and abundance. I wasn't looking for a particular log, just one that stood itself out to me. Just going to keep following my gut and hope for the best, because the wood knows what the wood knows, and it's leading me into a dark place. Okay, this can't be it. I don't have a feeling this is it. This is where my little vision was, by the silver stream. So using my initiative, I followed the path towards the silvery stream, and following its path, I came to realise how beautiful the stream was. I followed it up and up, using my gut to help me, and I came across a spot I'd never seen before, and it really did sweep me off my feet. It was another fairy haven full of mossy silver birches that surrounded the little stream. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. Oh my god. I can't believe I'm just finding a Yule log and I found this amazing fairy place. "20 minutes later, I was about to give up and look elsewhere when I saw in the distance some ancient toadstools glistening in the sun, and beneath these lied just what I was looking for. I found it! I found my Yule log! I found my Yule log! I came across this sweet little place and I was literally just about to give up, and there was a cute little mushrooms on the silver birches there, and then just here, I've taken it now, but there was 3 snapped logs, and it was like I had to choose which one. It's like so I've chosen this one. It's the perfect size, honestly. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. By the looks of how old these toadstools are, I'm guessing these are ancient fairies, full of the wisdom. Lovely log. Right, let's go home. The first thing I did to my log was clean it. As this wasn't a newly fallen log, it needed a bit of TLC. I used water, which I mixed with my favourite, cinnamon essential oil, to give this log protection qualities when it came inside my home. Traditionally, logs were rubbed with wine or salt and trimmed with pine cones, ivy and sprigs of holly, and the flames were thought to cleanse the remains of the past year and help lead in a productive spring. Once burned, the ashes from the logs were kept as protection against evil and misfortune. I left the log outside for a few days to dry out and hope any insects inside would move out. And after this, I got to work. I wanted to make 3 slots for 3 candles, so I marked 3 places, making sure the gaps in between were all even. I didn't have a drill bit that was the right size for the candles, so I drilled many small holes to make a wider hole that the candles would fit in, and to my amazement, it seemed to work quite well. The type of Yule log I am making is more of a modern tradition, used when a home didn't have a fireplace. I then placed my log onto a bed of pine in the centre of my dining room table. When set up like this, by tradition, 3 candles were placed inside. The candles were green, red and white, but there are plenty of other colours such as black, yellow, silver and gold that represent this time of year. Traditionally, it was green to represent the season and the Oak King, red to represent the return of the sun and the Holly King, and white to represent the cold. I could only find a yellow candle, so I placed this in honour of the sun's return instead. I then decorated the outside with fir and holly. When holly was burnt with the log, it was thought it could reveal past lives and even give visions to the up and coming year. Wow, that was surprisingly easy. Now I have finished. I was to make a Yule log, this time in the kitchen. You may have seen my gingerbread fairy Yule log last year, but this year I wanted to be more traditional. Many families that didn't have a fireplace took on board the practice to make a Yule log cake instead, and this originated in France. And I was making one today, as tonight was the night of my Yule celebration. The first thing I had to make was the Fatless chocolate sponge, and I have a few great tips for you whilst you make yours. I weighed the sugar, and added to this 4 large eggs. This mixture needs to be whisked until it is pastel yellow and frothy. I then added to this 2 more ingredients, sieved self-raising flour and cocoa powder. I then stirred this all together gradually, making sure no air got out, and it really was as simple as that. I placed this mixture onto a baking sheet that was lined with parchment, making sure to push the mixture all the way to the edges to get an oblong shape to work with, then placed it in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. Whilst it was in the oven, I prepared a surface of a larger piece of parchment and then sprinkled a dusting of icing sugar upon this. When the sponge is done, you will know as it will be spongy to the touch. I took mine out of the oven and placed it upside down on the new piece of parchment and satisfyingly peeled the old piece away, making a small indent with a knife to help me roll it a few centimetres in. And whilst the cake is still hot, you want to use the parchment to help roll it into a log shape, keeping the paper inside, and now leaving this parcel to cool. Whilst it was cooling, I made the toppings, the first one being the chocolate ganache. I poured double cream into a pan, which I heated up. Not too much. You still want to be able to put your finger in it without it being too hot. I then took it off the heat and added dark chocolate. I stirred the mixture continuously until the chocolate melted and I had a glorious thick soup-like consistency. I placed this in the fridge to cool down. The last thing to do before assembling was whip the cream. This was to be the filling for the main shape. So once the sponge was cool, I unrolled it and then slathered on the fresh cream, which again spreaded to all the edges, and then with ease I rolled up the log. I cut a piece of it at diagonal at the end to make my log look more realistic. And once it was on its serving platter, it was time for the chocolate to go on top. I placed this within a piping bag with a star-shaped nozzle and simply adorned my entire log with it, dragging it in lines, in swirls, just making my log complete and look realistic. To decorate these, I found these great sugar holly decorations. I placed these all over and then gave it a final touch of snow. And of course, to be extra enchanted, gold. Now everything was complete, it was time for the feast to begin, and before anyone could sit down, I had to light the candles. It was said that if a Yule log didn't burn straight away or went out before 12 days, it would mean bad luck. Ideally, the Yule log would burn for 12 hours and then hopefully smoulder for 12 days. So, let the Yule feast begin. Stories were told around the Yule log of the year that had passed and the year that was to come. The family would set themselves goals, let go of bad habits, set a wish, whatever it was a time of merriment, joy, and the whole family would gather for the occasion. After supper, ghost stories would be told, and the shadows that were casted on the wall by the flickering flame were examined. If the storyteller casted a headless shadow, they would not be in for a good year, to say the least. Many even chanted around the Yule log to build up the energy, just like the sun will do when it returns again. They repeated, May the log burn. May the wheel turn. May evil spurn. May the sun return. Thank you for watching, Enchanted Ones. I wish you all a truly blessed Yule. All my love, Alwyn. Searching. Oh, perfect! I did it! Oh my god, I can't believe I did it. It's perfect! Oh, lovely.
Charlie, we love you so much. Leave us